Right, I am going to give you one more video because I'm that generous. And you can see I've zoomed in on December Acolyte here. And that's because me and Dan were saying we want to do a few tactics videos. And nobody takes a December Acolyte. And I want to kind of talk about things I've found that I like with him. Because for a start, if you look at him, let's just actually have a look at this model. He is a gorgeous miniature. I love the model, and the model is fantastic. Comes another text, bloody sake. Anyway, I think the model's fantastic. So, this is the guy I want to talk about. So, I think he has a lot of promise, a lot of bonuses. And I've got his stat card out here, so we can go through that. So, we've talked about the appeal of this model. Cost-wise, if you're talking about you want a cheap investment, money-wise, for your crew, if you're in the UK, you can usually get this guy for about £5, £5.40 I got mine for. So yeah, he's not a huge investment for 6 soulstones. I know there are some people who will play Malifaux in that way. They want a crew quick without spending any money, so they buy things that are high soulstone cost and low investment cost. Anyway, so yeah, that's what he is. So yeah, we're 6 soulstones. He's rare 2, so you can only take 2 of them. Let's whip him out of this card. If I can actually manage 2, that'd be nice. And there we are. There we are indeed. Okay. So, got him open there. There he is on the front. Soulstone cost of 6. So let's actually have a look at what this guy can do. He's a grave robber. So you can immediately assume he's going to have something to do with corpse counters. Now these guys, from what I gather, are meant to be cannibals. Or at least quite cannibalistic. Yeah, they're not very nice people. They'll eat raw meat quite happily. So walk 4, charge 6. Not fantastic, but you know, pretty average. Height 2, average. Willpower 6. Now that's nice. That is going to keep him in a fight for a while. Casting ability 6. Also going to keep him in the fight. Defense 5. Not to be sniffed at. And 7 wounds. Not to be sniffed at. You know, we're talking similar territory to Blessed of December there. And we all love Blessed of December. Well, I do. Anyway, so, equipment-wise, what have we got here? We've got a claw. This is a 1-2-4. Not a fantastic weapon. Okay, it's 1-2-4. It's not great. He does have Rip Throat, same ability as again Blessed of December over there has, which is +2 damage against targets not wearing armor, I believe. Found that out earlier. Yeah, it is. It's +2 damage against targets not wearing armor. So, you know, he can turn that into some serious damage. He can make 3, 4, 6 occur there. The one thing a lot of people don't get with this guy is he doesn't have Frozen Heart, so you can't affect him with Bite of Winter unless you're willing to take Raspy and sit her here, so that he's next to her. Or have her cast whatever the spell it's called, the one that gives you armor +2 and Frozen Heart, which is not a bad option to give to this guy, to be honest. So, what other options have we got here? Well, we've got a harpoon gun. That's kind of cool. Range 12, CB 5, 236 damage. Damage isn't too bad. Severe is quite nice. 2 and 3, yeah, it's pretty standard. But, you know, range 12 is nice. The one thing where that lets this guy down is because it costs him both his actions to fire it. Now, he has an ability called Harpoon Expert, which means he reduces his range to 8. It costs him 1 action to fire it, and he loses 1 or 2, it might be 3 CB. So I'm just checking that for you. Yeah, and he loses 2 CB to do that. So he becomes CB3 with the harpoon. And if you ask me, that's not really worth it very often. Unless you're shooting a something that's like Defense 2, and you've got the red Joker in your hand, that's not really worth it. I have found there's a couple of occasions where that comes into it, and that comes down to my favourite spell this guy has, down here at the bottom. Okay, so he has a 0 action called Eat Your Fill. When he kills something in close combat, he immediately can spend his 0 action to heal all wounds. Now, it has to be something he kills, not something he sacrifices, and we'll get to that in a second. So, in fact, let's do that now. Well, no, we're in actions. So we've talked about Harpoon Expert, and we've just talked about, which is the one that lets him shoot at range 8. And we've talked about Eat Your Fill. So when he kills something in melee, he can he can heal himself. He's got Hunter, so that's quite nice. Sorry, I didn't actually talk about his abilities. He's got the bearskin armor, so he's immune to blasts, and he's immune to pulses, and he's immune to auras. That's tasty. Now this is cool. From the Shadows. If any of you play 40k, it's a bit like Infiltrate. He's got to be out of sight and 12 inches away. Now a lot of people might think, well, what's that? How's that useful? Well, he's got another ability in there. You can't actually be targeted by charges or ranged attacks until he takes an action other than pass. So, as an Arcanist player, if you take, say, Sabotage, deploy him in your opponent's deployment zone, in base contact with the Sabotage, make him the last activation, and just do Sabotage immediately. There you go, 2 points, job done. Announce it, why not? Your opponent can't stop it. Very easily anyway. He's got to have more models than you and get them to a point where they can see him on turn 1 and take him out. That ain't gonna easily happen. Something like a Bell could maybe drag him away from it, but you'd have to get lucky, and you'd probably burn some high cards to get rid of that, stop that from happening. So yeah, he's a good bet if you're going to try and do a Sabotage or something. He's very good at that. What else have we got? Let's go on to his triggers. So he has Drag. If you get a Ram and you hit a defender with a Harpoon Strike, you push the defender 4 inches towards you as he drags them along. Sorry, the camera's flickering a lot. It's I think as I'm moving this card so much, it's affecting the light. Okay. What else have we got here? Harpoon Fate. After you hit a defender with a Harpoon Strike, they discard a control card. Again, it's quite nice. And also we talked about Rip Throat. When damaging a defender without armor, with a Claw Strike, his melee attack, you receive +2 damage. So that's kind of cool. Drag and Harpoon Fate are they're kind of, if you get them off, if they happen, well done. Good luck with that, but don't rely on these, because with this guy, if you are going to run one, you're not taking him for the Harpoon, because it's both of his actions, and it's just not what you're after. So yeah, if you are taking one of these, you're not taking him because he's got a 12-inch range Harpoon, because he can't move if he's using it. Unless maybe you've got Frozen Heart on him and Snowstorm pushing him around, but that's not really what you want to be doing either, to be honest. I mean, if you can get him in range with From the Shadows, he might not need to move for a while, he could just sit there and shoot. But you'll have to see how it goes, it's very situational. Again, so this is the thing, this guy is quite situational. He's got Consume the Dead as his spells. Discard 1 corpse counter, he makes a healing flip. That's quite nice. It's quite nice. Again, he's got Eat Your Fill, so if you kill something, he'll heal fully. Or he can use his 0 action to do Consume the Dead and just discard the corpse counter and make a healing flip. So yeah, in my opinion, he's quite durable for that reason. And those are really his corpse counter abilities. That's why he's a grave robber. He has Devour. We all know what Devour does. It's a sacrifice height 1 model. Sorry, living height 1 model. And you resist with your defense. Very useful against Baby Cade, if you ask me. Baby Cade and Candy, just nom nom nom, thank you. Gremlins, great against Gremlins. Things like that. It's very useful to use against those. Especially Baby Cade, actually, because he's a pain in the proverbials. So you've got to be living, so you can't do it to, like, one of these gits down here. Sorry about that. But yeah, again, it's situational, but it's useful. And most people these days will have something that's height 1. And most of the time it will be living. Yeah, well, yeah, I'd probably say 50% of your games you'd find a use for Devour. Maybe a little bit less, but hey. Best spell with this guy. Icy Fate. 14 to cast, and he's only got casting ability of 6, so he needs an 8 or higher, and it's got to be of crows. So you might only get this off once per game. And you'll probably be playing cards from your hand to do it. But it's horrendous. Range 10, resisting with their willpower, sorry. And its target model may not cheat Fate until start of the closing phase. Think of the devastation you can do with that. Take her, and have him walk over to someone like maybe Seamus over here. In fact, he doesn't even need to be that close. She does. So she walks to there. He's back here. Ignore these bells, they're not here. We'll just move them out of the way. Get rid of all this junk. He does Icy Fate on Seamus, and then she just biting chills him all day long. And he can't cheat Fate, so he's taking whatever he gets. He's in deep, deep trouble there. I don't get why people don't think the December Acolyte is worth it. He's not worth it in every situation, but I definitely think there are situations where the December Acolyte has some benefits. He's a lovely model as well. And Icy Fate is what you take him for. You don't really take him for the crossbow. The crossbow is not impressive. It's not very good. Devour's nice, but it's not amazing. Icy Fate is where it's at. Stopping a model from cheating Fate is horrendous. If you stop a model from cheating Fate, and then have someone like her walk over and go, everyone living take a morale duel against willpower, against 14, people will flee. And if you do it to someone who's got a mediocre willpower, and you stop them cheating Fate, they might flee. And that could change the game completely. Same thing with terrifying models. You can do some really nasty things with that. If something like Rasputina ends up in combat, you don't want her there. Stop your opponent cheating Fate. If you stop them cheating Fate, they're in trouble. You really can screw with people by stopping them from doing that. And there's very few models in the game that can do it. I don't know of any others. I'm sure there probably are. But I don't know of any others. And this guy being able to do it is really nasty. And it's really good. And I think that's something that's underestimated a lot. I would check him out. I'd give him a go. Even if it's just proxy your gunsmith, because that's the problem. That's what people are taking instead of this guy, because at the same points, they're taking the silent one with a gunsmith. Yeah, if you're proxying your silent one as a December Acolyte, or proxying your gunsmith as December Acolyte, and just playing with that model, you can download his stats are in the version 2 free stats off the website, so you can download him off there, play him, test him, see how you like him. I've played a few games with him, probably 3 or 4. I quite like him. I have now bought a gunsmith, so I'm going to be playing around with him for a while, and I've bought Blessed, so I'm going to be playing with that for a while. But I did like him. I know it doesn't sound very good. Yeah, I'm telling you, use this model as I'm going out of using it and stopping using it, but I do like him, I'm not going to lie. He's very nice. I might come back to him, but I just want to try some different stuff myself. Try what everyone else is doing, see what the big deal is with Gunsmith. But yeah, try December Acolyte. He's very nice. Over and out.